All right. Yo, everybody. What is up? It's your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you from just outside the beautiful Tampa Bay area. Listen, today we're talking about a mystery back pain with balance issues. Okay. Um, I see this actually more often than I thought I would ever, is that I get patients with balance issues, genital numbness, tightness, something, genital symptoms, we'll say, um, and a weakness in their legs, right? And low back pain. They don't actually have to have low back pain, but for sure, I have. A lot of times it goes with it, right? So, um, so that sounds like an emergency, right? That sounds like Cuddy Equina syndrome. Okay, this patient has no issues with bowel bladder dysfunction, but it does sound like an emergency. And um, if the person was incontinent or had weakness, or I wasn't able to relieve the genital issue immediately, then I would refer out. Okay. And what this patient has is an MRI that's basically negative. It just says like mild herniated discs, right? So the MRI confirms that this is not Cuddy Equina syndrome. Okay. So the real question is what is this? What am I treating? Okay. And but what I've found over the years, and I published it in my root cause of SI joint dysfunction paper, is that SI joint dysfunction can cause balance issues. It can cause weakness in the legs, although there are no weakness in this case. It can cause genital numbness. That should be screened by an MD. Genital numbness, tightness, all kinds of feelings, tingling, stuff like that. All the basically it mimics the sciatic nerve type issues, right? And so, uh, and low back pain. Okay, I've actually seen foot drop with this. I've documented it in my SI joint paper. I have seen foot drop with this issue. And what I found is that is when you evaluate these people, if they have this issue, is that when you ask them to do a prone test or extend back, okay, read my essay paper, join my school group below. I talk about it more in depth and obviously in my clinical mentorship. Is when I ask them to extend back, one thumb goes right, translates superiorly on the PSIS, okay, and the other thumb translates inferiorly like it should, right? So so that tells me that they have what's called an upslip of their pelvis. Okay, so upslip, right? Learned it in school. Upslip of their pelvis. So I pulled on their leg. So I pull on their leg to bring it back down. But I propose in my root cause of SI joint dysfunction paper that made medical history, in readership, what I propose is that it's caused by an upslip and or outflare of the pelvis. Okay, in the chronic pain world, it's almost always bilateral. I find with the sacral torsion as well, but I wrote a paper on that too. Upslip and or outflare of the pelvis, up out. So I pull on their leg, I bring it back down. I lay them on their side, and I gap open the ASIS medial like this, okay? And when I get it open, what you can do is test it, okay? What you can do is test to see if you do this bilaterally, with the outflares. You do it bilaterally, and then you test it. Does the person still have pain and extension, pain and flexion first, right? Whatever the aggravating motion was. If they still have it, then what you do is I put a kickball between their knees to fire. Pretend this kickball between my knees. That's what that. To fire their to fire their adductor group, which goes like this. Okay. When it opens like that, then it helps me along with it, what I was trying to do like that. And if that doesn't, I have them squeeze. You have to have their feet together, very important. Now, so just jamming their SIs even further. You have to have them squeeze. But what I do if where they're squeezing a kickball, extending forward and bending back, is then I go ahead and I squeeze like this. Okay. If I didn't get the pain, I open it up like that. Okay. And then I say, now bend forward, extend back. Okay. And if the pain's gone, they still have a sacral torsion, usually I find. But if the pain's gone, then you know that this is what's causing their pain. You got to realign the sacral torsion. We'll talk about that in another video. And but if their pain is still there, then what I do is have them squeeze harder with the ball, or I push medial like this, okay, and have them bend forward and extend back, okay. And like the other day, I struggled with a patient. I couldn't get I couldn't get their pain to go away in standing after I did all this. And I'm like, I pull in the leg, I gap open the SI, and the person still had pain, right? And I'm like, I know this is SI, you know, she was complaining of pain like right in here, right? And I knew that this was SI. So I was like, go ahead and extend back again. And sure enough, my left thumb translated superiorly, and I'm like, crap. And I didn't get the upslip. So I had to lay her on her back again and pull on her leg to bring it back down. Then I opened it up, have her squeeze the ball, and I had to apply overpressure at the ASIS to gap the out flares open. And when I did, then she said my pain is gone. That confirms that this is what the source of the pain was. Okay, so now let's get on to weakness. I have a video. She's actually a therapist, flew to Tampa here from New Jersey. And she says, my elderly patients have better balance than I do. And she was like 40, 50. And she's like, I can't stand on one leg. And I'm like, you can't stand on one leg, you know? And she said, so she stands on one leg. You can see it. I put it on my YouTube channel, Welt Methods, subscribe. And I put it on my YouTube channel. And she stands on one leg and she's like wobbly, almost falling over type thing, right? And I'm like, I wonder if this is SI, because I screen every patient from lower thoracic into the foot for SI of any type of symptoms, okay? With my diagnostic methods and procedures, okay? And what I did was I pulled on her, again, same thing. One thumb translated superiorly, okay? The other inferiorly on the PSIS, okay? Which told me she had an upslip. Pulled on her leg, gapped it open. And in her case, and you see in this video, is that I have her stand on one leg and she's like all wobbly, right? And then what I do is I put an SI joint belt around her. Now, the SI joint belt doesn't work, I find, unless you get the upslip first, okay? Because if the person still has an upslip, then they have a misaligned joint. They have these jagged edges shearing against themselves. And now you're going to go like that, right? But once you get the upslip, then what you can do is like that, okay? With the SI joint belt, you got to pull it really hard, okay? So I put an SI joint belt on, and then I said, now stand on one leg. And you can watch it in the video. And then her balance returned. And I was like, this is an SI joint issue causing balance issues, okay? I've seen this like a lot. And then what I did after that is for genital numbness or genital symptoms that have been ruled out by MDs, most of my patients have seen everybody, so they've been ruled out by MDs. And what I do is I have that a lot of times they actually have to feel it, okay? So what I do is I pull it back down, open it up, okay? And the SI joint referred pain chart, this is mine, meaning I wrote on this, okay, drew in this, see how it goes into the feet, and then I eventually colored in the genital region, okay? I don't know if this is documented. I don't believe it is. Documented that it can cause genital issues, okay? And what I did was when you open it up, I have them squeeze the ball. Okay, so have them do a standing ball squeeze, put their feet together. Very important. If their feet are not together, then it's going like that and just jamming further. The feet are together, then it opens it like that. I have them squeeze the ball, the kick ball. Okay, and then I may need to apply some overpressure, but the person, they often need to touch the genital region to figure out if it's still numb or whatever the symptoms are, tightness or whatever. But if it goes away immediately, guess what? You just confirmed clinically that this was a mechanical issue masquerading as this mysterious diagnosis. I see this more than I care to see it. And these poor people have become medical mysteries, and it's actually pretty tragic what they go through. But I see them in here, and I'm able to accurately diagnose them and get them out of pain, to confirm it, to relieve the symptoms, okay? And when I do that, then I'm like, okay, this is what we need to do. So I use my SI protocol, okay? And then they also have a sacral torsion. The kicker with sacral torsions is it always rotates in one direction. You can test it by doing a 90-90 piriformis strength test, okay? So have them lay on their back. And what I believe you'll find, because this is what I do all day long, is their right side is always weak, which means that their right side is here, left side is here, and what happens is that it twists. Okay, so the left side translates anteriorly. Okay, which means they have a right weak piriformis that you have to strengthen the right piriformis to bring it back. I published it. It's on my website, weltonmethods.com, or for clinicians only. Clinicians, I love chronic pain patients, but clinicians only. This is our space. Join my school group. I linked it below. Okay, and then you can tell right there. Okay, so for me and my students, this isn't like some hypothetical thing that we do with SI joint. Okay, I wish everybody would screen for this. Now, you want to hear something that literally made me like extraordinarily happy. I'm like, my dream is coming true. And I'm out here all the time because I'm trying to help these chronic pain patients. Okay, I can only help so many people a year. But I'm trying to help these chronic pain patients. So I publish papers, protocols, I teach, I have my courses, I have my clinical mentorship. If you want to join my school group below, I talked about that in there. It's free, just join them for clinicians only. And, but I'm out here trying to help these chronic pain patients, right? So people that need to use their insurance, I created a 7-figure, 20-hour-a-week cash-based business model that I teach that as well, combined with my clinical mentorship. And that's in my school group too. If you want to join my school group too. I talk about that. And you're interested in that, I will teach you how to do it. But I combine that. And one of the things that I'm passionate about is getting this information out, these diagnostic procedures, so you're able to tell. Now, people that can't afford to see me, people that can't afford to see me in my cash-based clinic, is what I do is I get them to one of my students, right? So I've been referring them over to this clinic in the Tampa Bay area that takes insurance. And so I talked to the therapist yesterday, the physical therapist, and I was like, you getting all these people? I'm sending you people constantly, right? And she's like, yeah. And, and I'm able to help them too. She's like, hey, she's like basically everybody in here is, quote, all about SI now. And I'm like, she's like, so you can send them to them too. And I'm like, thank God. I'm like, because the medical system, they literally write books on it. The medical system is totally resistant to change, And, but I'm sending over these patients that can't afford to see me and need to use their insurance. And they are able to help them. They're diagnosed, and they're starting to believe what I believe. And I have been, in my clinical observation, what I see all day long in here is that SI joint dysfunction, chronic bilateral SI joint dysfunction with a sacral torsion and a sacral shear, is the most common cause of back pain. That's a radical statement in the world of orthopedics. I published my free diagnostic procedures and protocols, and you can check you can check. You don't have to take my word for it. You can check. Okay. If you want to go more in depth, okay, I have my clinical mentorship where I give you, I work with you. I do live videos, Q&A, and you get 59% off all of my courses. It's pretty awesome. And then what I also do is I have my cash-based business, 7-figure, 20-hour a week, cash-based business with my clinical mentorship, because you need clinical skills in order to succeed in the cash-based business. Okay. So we charge a lot, just like there's a guy here in Clearwater that is a Lyme specialist. Writes on his website 94% success rate with Lyme. You can't say that unless you have the data to back it up. People come from everywhere to see this guy. Okay, it's very expensive to see him, I've heard. Okay, but he has a 94% success rate. Nobody really knows what to do about Lyme in terms of like medicine type thing. They're just kind of like, I don't know, man, take antibiotics, right? This guy's got a totally different approach, right? So that's what I do is I turn people into super specialists in chronic pain. It's not as hard as you think. It's always the same thing every time, like this, SI joint stuff. So anyways, I teach people how to open and run a 7-figure, 20-hour a week cash-based business. And I teach the clinical skills. There's no sales techniques involved in this. I don't do sales techniques. I'm not a natural salesperson. What I am is I can get people out of pain immediately using my methods. And that's why people buy in, is because they're like, this guy actually knows what he's doing. Look, I'm sitting here without pain for the first time in 10 years, you know? And then I'm like, yeah, I never want to see you again. I'll teach you everything. You know, I'll teach you how to keep your SI joint in alignment and put it back on your own, or whatever it was that they came to me for without me. It was all an exercise program. And I teach them, and that's what they want. Okay. So in order to qualify for that, join my free school group below. I'm talking about that in here, or comment hybrid. Okay. For my cash-based business, or comment clinical if you want to just learn my clinical mentorship. What I'm doing is teaching people how to do this. I work with you one-on-one. And I teach you how to open and run or transition and run a cash-based business, becoming a chronic pain super specialist. And our targeting on Facebook, Instagram is about 3 hours away. Okay, so 3 hours away, I send my ads out. People regularly come 2 to 3 hours away. Think about how many people they're passing. Why are they passing them? Because they've been everywhere. They know that nobody knows what's wrong with them, but it's always like the same thing every time. So I teach this, okay? And I teach you I teach you the clinical skills, okay? No sales techniques. I don't talk people how to use their insurance. If they want to use their insurance, you should. You pay. I pay 20 grand a year for my insurance. You should use your insurance, okay? Other than that, join my school group below for clinicians only. Or if you want more information, want me to DM you more information, click write hybrid below for my cash-based hybrid clinical business mentorship. Or if you want my clinical mentorship, more information, post clinical in the comments. Okay. Peace. Love you all. Screen for SI. Everything. Okay.